does this have to, and she's actually coming from District 28 in Texas. What does this have to do with us? We've got to spread the message out to beyond Montgomery County. As y'all know, Montgomery County is very, very important, but we can't just let it end here. We have to support good candidates in other parts. So we are delighted that Sandra made the short trip from Laredo to come and visit us. But this is Sandra Whitten, who's trying to run. This is like a daughter from another mother.
Thank you. As you guys know, I am from Laredo. I have to give some big plugs to my dear friend Dr. Wesley really quick before I start talking about myself. I think the very first time we ever shared a stage was fighting for the Cenotaph back in 2019. And he was running for CD15, I was running for CD28. And we partnered up pretty much right away, and I'm telling you right now, there is no stronger fighter for Texas in the Land Commissioner's office than Dr. Wesley, so please make sure that you support him and get out and vote. So why am I here yet again? Not just because I love this lovely weather that we never get in South Texas, but also because you guys have been a huge support system for me. As you guys know, I'm in one of the most Democrat districts in the state of Texas, so sometimes I have to kind of branch out, get some loving from some other Republicans, and so we can take it back down to District 28. And that's exactly what we've done. As you guys know, we've started or helped start, if you will, about 4 Republican parties in my district. My home county of Webb County just had its very first county convention in its history this last weekend. When I tell you the chairman and I, who we have had some battles, and he and I just looked at each other with a halfway full room, and I just looked at him and I said, "We've done it." And he goes, "We haven't done it yet, but we've come awfully darn far, haven't we?" And to say that neither one of us walked away without wiping our eyes would be a lie, because this is such a moment in our history where we see other parts of the state where it feels like we're starting to lose that Republican flair. We have a whole new generation of Republicans that are coming up saying, "I don't stand with these values." What we're finding, though, is that the establishment doesn't like our values. What we're finding is people who are supposed to be our champions, Ted Cruz, are sticking people who don't belong in our races to run against us. They don't stand for our values. They don't know our districts. They don't know Texans because they've been too busy being in Washington, D.C. They've been too busy playing Washington, D.C. games instead of doing we the people work. And that is what organizations like the Montgomery County Tea Party is all about. That is what grassroots organizations all around the state and all over our district are seeing. We don't want any more of these DC policies. We don't like the Democrats' DC policies, and you know what? We don't like these fake Republican DC policies either. They're not speaking our values. You guys know that I was the only Republican that ran in 2020. I took 40% of the vote in the general election in 2020 with no outside support. This year, the establishment put 6 people in to run against me. Ted Cruz. Sorry, there's something in the air. It's so weird. And guess what? We're still giving them a run for all of their hundreds of thousands of dollars that they're spending against this little grassroots country bumpkin that shouldn't be there. Look at the news. You don't see my name mentioned. You see everybody else's name mentioned. You see people who did not care about CD15, that did not care about CD34 or CD28. You see their names plastered all over the news. But the person who started the movement? Nothing. Do you know why? Because they're afraid of the grassroots. They are terrified that we're still meeting, even though they tried to slaughter us in the primaries. They know that they did their best to demoralize the Republican Party grassroots, that they laughed all the way back to their mansions, didn't they? Look at what's happening. Look at what's coming out in the news. We had somebody send us an article here recently about our beloved governor, and they said, can you believe that the Democrats are putting this stuff out there? You mean the same stuff that the grassroots was putting out there when we were trying to get our real Republicans elected? This isn't brand new information to the grassroots. This isn't the Democrats doing this. These are these fake Republicans doing this. It's time to start calling things out. I got in some trouble. Y'all are gonna have a hard time believing this. I got in some trouble in Bexar County because I called a predominant Republican a Democrat because he's working with Henry Cuellar's campaign staff. So I put it all over Facebook and I said, no surprise that Greg Brockhouse is really a Democrat because that's who he's working with. Ooh, did I step on some toes? But that's what we need. That's what energizes you guys. That's what helps us to get the funding that we need. That's what helps us to get people to volunteer. Somebody who's not willing to be complacent and fight this machine. You guys know I'm fighting. My knuckles are bloody. I've got my knee wrapped up, but we're not stopping because we can't. They know for a fact they are gunning for Texas. I'm not even talking about the Democrats still. The Republicans are gunning for Texas to water us down. Here's some fun facts. Did you know that there are groups all over the state of Texas, but I'm specifically going to talk to you about 15 and 28, that have Democrat plants that said, hey, here's the Republicans that we need you to vote for because they're not really Republicans. But don't tell them. Guess what? It's not done because they're already ramping that up for the primary. The runoff. We have 66 days until May 24th. What are you going to do? Why am I in Montgomery County? Why am I 6 hours away from home? Why did I leave my house at 3 o'clock this morning to be here? Because the grassroots has to help the grassroots. So as iron has to sharpen iron, here's where I need your help. I'm not asking you to come all the way to Laredo today. I'm asking you to come to Bexar County. Go and see the Alamo while you're there. I'm asking you to come to Guadalupe County. It's only a 3-hour drive. I need block walkers. I need people holding up signs outside of polling locations. I need the grassroots to show what grassroots looks like. Because we're still in the education process in South Texas. They get and see these videos where these full rooms up here and patriots just iron and sharpening iron and yeah, we love Texas, and they're like, we don't have that down here. I need you guys to teach the grassroots of South Texas how we grassroots Texas. So the middle of April, all the way until the middle of May, we're going to start huge block walking campaigns. And I need you to consider coming down for a weekend, coming down for a day, contributing to our campaign, because I know you're going to have a hard time believing this, but Ted Cruz and his minions have a lot of money. And while we've done a ton without a lot of money, they're ramping up their cause. Here's the best part. Are you ready? I'm so glad y'all are sitting down because you're not going to believe this. Do you know that Ted Cruz's plant does not feel that it's necessary to show up Republican Party conventions? Do you know that they could still not, out of all 7 of my former opponents, not one of them was willing to show their voter registration card that they could even vote in our district? Did you know that with these groundbreaking conventions that are happening in District 28, things that have never been seen in our district before, the pick of the GOP doesn't feel that she needs to grace the grassroots with her presence. This has nothing to do with the color of somebody's skin. This has nothing to do with their sex. This has everything to do with who cares about Texas. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's all in a name. Y'all know mine is Sandra for Texas. But when you're so-and-so for Congress, who are you going to DC to represent? And that is the message that needs to be heard from here all the way down to the border. Texans aren't going to take this anymore. So I need your support. I need your help, because together we're going to do this. I am the last grassroots hope of Texas for Congress. This is Texas Freedom Force put out this really awesome video. You might have seen a couple of the stars here tonight. No paparazzi, please, but we will do autographs later. I even heard that Chewbacca might be making an appearance. I don't know anything about it though. But we really need your support. We have these strongholds up here in Montgomery County. But now that y'all kind of get to take a little bit of a breather, we need the help in South Texas. Y'all know where to find Walter. Y'all know how to find me. Y'all know how to find Miss Patty. There might be some guys over here in some Texas t-shirts that might be able to help guide your way to us as well. Please do what you can to support us. This is literally the last hope for Texas. Thank you guys so much. Sandra Whitten, SandraForTexas.com. Scan the QR code.